TGIF, it's Friday. I'm Gigi Speer. This is Locked On Women's Basketball. We're celebrating A'ja Wilson in this episode, and I'm joined by not just one, but two very special guests. Locked On Women's Basketball starts right now.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Women's Basketball your very first listen of the day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. As playoffs wind down, the sports stop sporting like we want them to. But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone, every day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, everybody. So today I'm going to be joined by Arden Franklyn of Dunkyard, of Fanatics. He does everything. If you don't know him, you'll know him now. Follow him at It's That Arden on Instagram for all special content. He recently started a series about kind of being an old head in the basketball space, and it's super funny and maybe relatable, maybe not, but we all kind of feel that sometimes. And I'm also joined by someone who's making, I think, his Locked On Women's Basketball debut. I know Arden is. Peter Verry. He's the senior news and features editor for the athletic and outdoor at Footwear News. He oversees the coverage of two fast-paced and ultra-competitive markets. He's interviewing people all the time. Peter Verry is going to be joining me right now. I can't wait to bring him on. Peter, thank you so much for coming on to Locked On Women's Basketball. It is a pleasure to have you, and nice meeting you.
Likewise. Thank you for having me. Sorry, I've just been trying to make sure the setup is good, and I'm ready for you.
Oh, let's go. Well, you look great. The setup looks great. We're diving right in because it's just one of those days. Peter, you had some time with A'ja Wilson. You saw her rock her own hoodie, talk about the A1s. She talked so much about just her life and her experience with this sneaker release at the Block Photo Studio. So can you just walk us through what it was like for you to be there?
Well, for one, she is incredibly charismatic. So, when you meet some of these athletes, when you meet some of these celebrities, just like you have as well, you sometimes realize like this person has it, she has it. So immediately super engaging, super warm, really wanted to be there. I got the feeling that she just was really interested in talking about this collection, talking about the shoe and everything that she's got going on in her world. And to actually get, a good hour with her before we even did the photo shoot during WNBA All-Star Weekend, where she's being pulled in 100 different directions. It was a fantastic experience. And
you got to talk to her about this whole process. And I feel like she's kind of unique in this way. And I want to hear what you think about, where a lot of people were in an uproar about her not having her own signature shoe 2 days after Caitlin Clark gets drafted. Caitlin has announced that she has her own. But A'ja had this in the books for a while. So did you get a sense of her that it was like, this is something that she's been planning out for a while, and it's a very particular process in a way that's unique to her?
That was probably one of the topics she was the most candid about. So obviously the discussions around her shoe really ramped up when the news broke, or the report surfaced that Caitlin was getting her own shoe and a reported $28 million deal over 8 years. And that afternoon, or that evening rather, she tweeted out, just remember, what is delayed is not denied. And which kind of gave her fans okay, we got a little hope. This is going to come. And she was really open and honest about the whole process with Nike and these conversations that she had, where she was like, hey, am I enough for you? Like, am I good enough? Like, what do I have to do more to prove myself that I deserve this? And she said that Nike told her, just relax, just trust the process. This is going to happen. And I think she was very thankful and appreciative of the process, because she said, after a year plus of work on this behind the scenes, I have a shoe that I'm really happy with. So I think that, the fact that she didn't talk openly about the fact that she was getting something and she was working on it for a year behind the scenes, I guess allowed her fans, or allowed just W fans in general, to really get riled up about this, but when she finally came out, I was like, hey, this is happening. It seemed like all was right with the world.
I can only imagine. I remember her coming out too. She has the ihaveashoe.com hoodie on, and I feel like for her release, it's unique in a way where a lot of people can't pull it off. She's this ultra mega brand. So you're a lifelong sneaker addict, self-proclaimed. I haven't seen your collection yet, so I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
It's chaotic. It's chaotic at this point.
It's chaotic. Well, maybe you'll add some A1s to it. But do you have any like expectations for what people could expect for Asia's own personal twist on it?
So she said some things to me that kind of surprised me. Like, if you've noticed everything she's worn on the court in recent years, she was the face of the Cosmic Unity franchise, and she's been wearing LeBrons, and they are very sturdy shoes made for someone who is a bit bigger on the court. And Asia is 6'7", so she needs something that's sturdy, right? But then she was talking about everything about the shoe. I'm like, wait a second, this sounds more along the lines of a Kobe silhouette than like a LeBron. She said it's a low top, which she typically doesn't wear on the court. It's very versatile, and she said the key thing for her, aside from the fact that she wants people to be able to wear it off the court, she needed like 40 minutes of comfort built into that shoe. So when I went into it, I was thinking something along the lines of, a LeBron kind of build to it, but now it sounds totally different. And not just the reporter in me, but the sneaker fan in me is like really waiting, like, okay, I want to see this. And Nike's been super tight-lipped on this. She's been super tight-lipped on this. So it's like we get these little bits of information, but now it's just like, all right, please just show the shoe already.
And speaking of like a debut, Jason Tatum recently debuted out in Paris. Is this normal? Like, are these type of releases? I'm feeling like maybe I'm out of the loop, but I feel like a lot of the releases from huge athletes right now are really revolutionary in the way that they're going about it.
I think they're just looking to capitalize on bigger moments. I would anticipate, like there's been some chatter about Asia Shoe's going to come out in the summer. I've heard some things that I haven't been able to confirm about specific months. But you could probably guess what month I've heard. It's a major month that happens every year for the W. But I think that these brands are getting smarter, and they're saying, okay, like there's the world is looking at this person right now. Let's just drop a little bit of news and get people talking. And I think you're going to see something similar with Asia in the coming months. Like they're going to have a little more planned rollout and talk about it a little more.
I got you. And something I found interesting in your article on Footwear News is she's dabbling into more luxury brands more and more. Do you feel, is it too late to have that influence in her signature line, or do you think that's already going to be there and fans could expect
I think it's already going to be there. I mean, she's talked about the fact that she wants this to be built for the court, built for performance, but have lifestyle appeal. And you saw the photos from the shoot. Like the hoodie was cropped hoodie, but like you can wear it on. You can wear it when you're in the gym, and you can wear it out. It's gorgeous. And then I know one of the pieces that I really liked were the shorts because it had like this. You can tell like maybe not directly from the luxury world, but there was this subtle print that went throughout with her A-Star logo and the Nike swoosh throughout. So you can tell that there's going to be some fashion appeal built into this collection.
Ooh, I'm excited. And so what did you think of that logo too when it came out? I know I like seeing the sketch, like any Nike sketch, and I think the head designer for her collection is Ben. But yeah, what did you think?
Let's not try to pronounce his last name.
I'm not gonna.
So the logo, it was interesting because I think as the story kind of unfolded a bit and people were talking about how it came about and what it actually means, people really latched onto it. At first there was a little mystery. It's like, what exactly is this? But then you hear like, is this like the star from her signature and things like that? It's like, oh, okay, now it turned from, the conversation turned from, I don't understand every element of this to like, now I want to see it on everything. And can we just talk about the fact that she had it in plain sight for the longest time. Like M. Johnson, who is an incredible photographer who works with W players, she's like, I've been shooting this and haven't noticed it for months. Like she hit it in plain sight. That was incredible.
Dropping the little Easter eggs here and there too. Yeah.
Yep.
I love M's work as well. Listen, we have to do a little ad break, but if you have time, I'd love to keep you on too and talk a little bit more about this shoe and maybe what people can expect from Asia in the sneaker realm.
Oh, listen, I cleared my calendar off of this. We're good.
Oh, let's go. Okay, guys, more Locked On Women's Basketball with Peter Verry after this, and then we're going to bring in Mr. Arden Franklyn as well, guys. This is a jam-packed episode for a great person, A'ja Wilson. This is her episode. This is her birthday. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. So there's so many things I feel like are non-negotiables in life. You know, you want to wake up, get a little movement in. And I also love to talk things through. I know Simone Biles said she had a therapy day before hopping on the balance beam at the Olympics. So it's everywhere. Your schedule is packed with big work projects, with kids' activities I can assume some people have, not me. It's easy to let your priorities slip. So you want to make therapy a part of your routine. I know that I've benefited from it. So many people have, and I can't recommend it enough. There's so many good things about BetterHelp. In particular, it makes it super easy. Like recording a podcast, you could do this as a therapy session. Sometimes it feels like that, but BetterHelp is just so good. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, Peter. So I want to run by real quick with you. My first pair of sneakers were my first real legit pair I saved up and waited in line for were the playoff 8s. If you could picture those, still have them. And I just think what's cool about this, and I know this is Locked On Women's Basketball, so I'm skewing it this way, but I think it's the way the culture is going too. You spend time with Stewie, you spend time with A'ja, and women have really, really cool style, especially female hoopers. And so, yeah, for you, is this exposure to female hoopers and them having a signature line something that's new, or do you feel like this is something? I know we had Cheryl Swoops way back in the day with her deal with Nike, and I'm just so happy A'ja Wilson has her own now. But yeah, can you talk a little bit about maybe the culture shift? Because we talk about all the time how basketball coverage has increased, but how has it influenced in the sneakerhead world, would you say?
So the reason you hear so much about women's signature shoes is because they're so few and far between, and there have been long periods of time where there haven't been any for any player. So if you look at Breanna Stewart, her Stewie 1 with Puma was a decade after not a decade after, because it was Diana Taurasi, but I'm sorry, I did have my timeline incorrect. It was a decade after Candace Parker with Adidas. And then, after that, you had Elena Delle Donne, then you had Sabrina Ionescu. But there's so few far between that these become major topics of conversation. And if you really want to talk about the significance of A'ja getting her own shoe, now, this is no slight to Nike, because Nike has done a lot to invest in women's basketball, specifically the WNBA. But it is more than 2 decades since a Black woman has got a signature shoe with Nike, with Shamika Holdsclaw and Cheryl Swoops. So this isn't just a little deal here. This isn't just something like, oh, cool, Asia's getting a shoe. This is a moment. This is something that's truly going to have impact. This is something that people are really going to latch on to. And yes, Nike has released player edition shoes for her before, for the Cosmic Unity, but there is something different about having a shoe of your design, a shoe that you signed off on, that has your name on it. Like, this is going to be a huge moment next year when it finally releases.
It's a big moment, and I love that people were up in arms online too, rightfully so. And then I think she posted like, what is delayed is not denied. And you wrote in your article too that some very special people hit her up when the deal was announced. Can you talk a little bit more about those people that reached out to her and maybe what that means for the significance?
I mean, how cool is it that like news comes out and the first three people who call you are Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, and Dawn Staley? Like, that is a great, powerful network that she has. And it was interesting because I was like, I wanted to know about her collection and things like that, and what footwear is in her closet. And she has them all in sizes that she can't wear. She just wanted them, but like, I guess that was like her inspiration. Like, she has Lisa's shoes, she has Cheryl's shoes, she has Dawn's shoes all in her house, just to kind of look at and gain inspiration from. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. Like, the first three people to call you are three of the greatest women's basketball players of all time, and they just called my phone. They have my cell phone number. That was pretty interesting. And the way that she speaks about them is with such reverence. Like, she really cares about the shoe history. She really cares about what it meant for women, what it meant specifically for Black women to see them have their own shoes. And she knows she's next in line, and she knows this is like a great responsibility, and what this means to her community, to the basketball community, what it means to people.
Okay, to wrap things up, man, Peter, you're so knowledgeable about all these subjects. I want to get to know you, so we'll do a quick little rapid fire. If you put something out, article, shoe, whatever it was, and you could have three people call you, dead or alive, who would they be? That would mean a lot.
Oh, wow. This is, I was not prepared for this. This is a good one. All right. Three people, dead or alive, who I would want to call me. Dr. Dwayne Edwards is probably the first person, and he probably would. So if you're not familiar with Dr. Dwayne Edwards, he is a legendary Jordan designer. He has worked in the industry for forever, but what people really know him for now is he founded the first design-focused HBCU in the country. So if you are a designer and if you want to learn from the best, this is someone who literally will teach you basically how you go into Nike and work day to day. It's not like you're going into a college course where they're teaching you X, Y, and Z. These are the basics. He's saying, no, this is what they expect from you every day. This is how you will work every day. And we're going to give you the tools, so when you walk in on day one, you can have impact. And he's just a great conversation. So I would definitely want Dr. Dwayne Edwards to be the first. Wow. Second, you really put me on the spot with this one. This one's tough. This one's really good. Who would I want the second call to be? Man, you know what? One of my journalist peers. He goes by the name John Gotti. He is over at Anscape. He founded the rap blog years ago, the Smoking Section. I just love talking to him. We love to nerd out over sneakers and music, and we can call each other for 5 minutes on any kind of random phone call, and ended up 2 hours later, we're still talking about the same thing. And you know what? Not to sound like a homer, the third one, I would like to be Michael Atmore. He is my boss here. I have told him for years that he's the best boss I've ever had. Sorry to any other past boss, but he's the number one. I have learned so much from him over the years. As a matter of fact, the fact that this even happened, we can have a whole nother separate podcast on how quick we had to turn this around. But I walked into his office with this pitch, and typically there's a lot of discussion for these things, and like, what does this mean for us? How much will this cost? Whatever. And I just walked in with this pitch, and it was just like, all right, green light, let's go. I was like, I don't have to explain anymore. Like, this is my idea. We're good with it. And it was, yeah, just do it. It's like, just book your travel. Let me know how much it costs and head out. I was like, easy. All right. So yeah, that was my three: Dwayne Edwards, John Gotti, and my boss, Michael Atmore.
That's a crazy triple three. I love that. And man, I think it's so cool when people give you the green light to do something you're passionate about. So when you're not hiking, you're on the trails, where can people find your work? I know I've loved reading your articles, so I want to plug that before we let you go with your footwear news day.
So it's footwearnews.com. All the social handles are at Footwear News, and myself personally is just my name, at Peter Verry. You can find me there, DM me. I'll talk about sneakers all day with you.
All right, Peter, thank you so much for hopping on. This has been such a joy, such a pleasure. And I can't wait to see these shoes when they're released in the month that we think it would be.
This is great. And I got to start writing more about the W so I can talk with you more. This is a nice little change of pace for me. I like this.
All right, great. Anytime. I'm happy to have you. And so nice to meet too.
Likewise. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Thank you. All right, everybody, that was Peter Verry, guys. We're joined very, very, very soon by another very special guest, near and dear to my heart, Mr. Arden. We're going to plug one of our sponsors, and then we're going to get into this final segment of the A'ja Wilson episode. It's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. Anything A'ja related is so fun. You guys know this. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you're listening to this, you're like me. You love sports. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games, and the sports aren't sporting like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open up the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Guys, now I'm going to bring on Arden Franklyn. We want to talk about anything hoops. You bring on Arden, and this is why we have him here. Arden, hey.
What's up? How's everything? Thank you for the intro. Thank you for the intro.
I didn't even get into your intro because I feel like I can't even list it all, but content creation 101, building up brands online, repping Westchester while doing it somehow. So you have a little target on your back. You can find him Foreside Company, Dunkyard, Fanatics Fest. This is a busy time of your life, and you're taking time to hop on here. So, man, how's everything going? And have you been able to watch the Olympics? I feel like you're a busy man now.
Of course. I gotta watch the Olympics. It's one of the few times where I feel super patriotic, especially when we competing. So I've been able to follow along, women's squad doing what they do. Men's side, we started to pick it up. We got a big game today against Serbia. Shout out to the 3-on-3 squads. Men's side unfortunately couldn't medal, but the women's side, Ryan and the crew got bronze, which was super nice. They was able to bounce back from a slow start. So even with everything that's going on, I got to follow along with the Olympics, especially when it comes to hoops.
Right. And we had Tiffany Hayes out there for Azerbaijan.
Yes.
I know this is like the A'ja Wilson episode, but I'm so curious. What do you think about the 3x3 format in the level that we're seeing it, like on a huge broadcast?
I think it's great. I mean, and for me, I think it's great because I think it goes back to like the youth, seeing the youth see basketball executed and different concepts other than like 5-on-5 full court action, where so much of it could be running gun, a lot of one-on-one ball. But in order to master the full court game, you have to understand how to master the half court game, right? Which could be a lot of emphasis on ball movement, moving out the ball, communicating on defense, right? It's a lot more accountability on your plate because you don't have as much protection behind you, So I think it's great for the game, for everybody to see it. And when you're able to see players execute on that type of, grounds with 3-on-3, the one-on-one game, what they can do defensively, I think it's fun. And again, it's like remind me of the days of playing on the playground when, it's first to 21, who's going to get the dub, who's going to get the stops, who's going to make the buckets. So I really enjoy the 3-on-3 action.
So speaking of reminding you of the playing days, especially as a kid, we've talked about this. You kind of have you have something very unique in what you put out on your social platforms in a way where you're watching the games way different than I would say a regular fan would. Way differently than a traditional journalist would.
Yeah.
You're watching it in the way where you have so much love for the game every time you come. So is there anything, and I'm making this A'ja specific because this is coming out the day after her birthday. What is it about A'ja's game that may or may not remind you of those days where it's just street ball and you're just playing to have fun and pass some time and as a kid?
It's because she plays with a great passion for the game. I think more than anything, it's her passion. for Asia to be the winner that she is, and to a lot of people, she's the GOAT of her generation, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm one of those people who believe that. She plays with great passion, and I think when you're very passionate about what you do, everything takes care of itself. From a skill standpoint, right? We talking 6'4", 6'5", is able to move the way she moves, great finishing around the basket, great defensive player. I mean, I think she's won at least one Defensive Player of the Year award. But her passion for the game is there. So for me growing up, playing in the playground or playing AAU, I've been around a lot of passionate players. And that passion is just, it's transferable, right? You could be somebody that's super laid back and chill on the court. You play with somebody that is extremely passionate, and their passion is like very productive because it actually gives you a spark and gives them a spark. It allows you to do anything on the court. So for me, and I'm happy you brought up that point, because for me, right, I'm somebody that has played, I'm somebody that has coached. I more so have coached and trained players. And then I have this career in media where I've covered a lot of the games. I'm often watching with a mix of everything, right? Like I'm watching from the POV of somebody that's played, that's coached, that's trained, that it covers the game. So I think it allows me to have appreciation for certain things from a player. And with Asia, more than anything else, I absolutely love her passion. That's my favorite trait about her.
That's so evident. And so USA just beat Nigeria 88-74.
Yeah.
The day this podcast is coming out, Team USA is playing Team Australia. I don't think people are very surprised to see this be the matchup in the semis. I have to ask, who do you got in this game? And what does it come down to if USA gets a dub?
I got USA always and forever. I'm always going to roll with us. I think it's going to always come down to just execution. I think especially by the guards. I think even with Asia doing what she's doing, I think a great development for USA during this Olympics has been the guard play, right? We've seen Jackie, have a breakout game. We've seen Sabrina have breakout games, right? Kelsey Plum is still in the mix with what she can do amongst the guard position. Of course, there's the old reliable vet, Diana Taurasi. So I think if the guards can thrive and really make a difference, then we're going to get the dub. Like at this point, it's like we know what Asia's going to do. We know what Stewie's going to do, but it's all about the guards. And if the guards can break the game open with what they can do from the perimeter, solid defense, and finishing at the basket, I expect us to win this game as usual.
I love the Jackie plug in there. And yes, as usual, I'm right there with you. I got Team USA all the way. I'm sorry, Coach Sandy Brondello. I'm sorry to Sammy Witt
Love
from
is
Australia.
love. Love
But
is love, Coach Sammy. We'll get back to it in like a week or two.
we'll
This
be
is
back at
home team.
Barclays.
Yeah, we'll be back at Barclays. It's home team, Liberty all day. But America, we got to
America.
get this goal. We got to get this goal, B. Love is love, Coach. We'll get back to it in like 2 weeks, yo.
100%. All right, Arden, sadly, I have to let you go. We got to wrap this up, let people get on with their day. I'm so happy people tuned in to listen to you, but please plug your work. Where can people find you? I know I plugged it a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, what should people expect from you in the next couple weeks?
Yeah. So again, thank you, Gigi. It's a ton of fun being on your show. I've been watching for a minute now. You already know how much I rock with you and your work and what you do all across the board. Follow me on social at @isthatarden. Expect some more content, some more interviews. I got some new projects that I'm about to start doing that involves basketball and podcasting with some good friends of mine. So I'm super excited about that. Some Dunkyard presentations. Of course, Forside, we got some more concerts and listening sessions that are on the way to kick off the fall. And yeah, with Fanatics, based on when this drops, once again, right, we have Fanatics Fest happening next weekend at the Javits Center. We're talking about the first ever of its kind immersive sports festival with fans of sports, culture, and collecting can fully explore their love for all of those things. So if you ever wanted to know what it's like to see Tom Brady and Stephen A. Smith have a conversation, we have that panel for you. We have other guest appearances from Travis Scott, Anthony Edwards, Kevin DeBrant, Sabrina Ionescu, Henrik Lundqvist, 15 plus WWE superstars and legends. We got incredible product drops that are happening. All of the biggest leagues and brands are having fun on-site activations, and I'm super happy to be a part of the team that's putting together this event. I'm helping us with our social media and our influencer marketing. So if folks are free between August 16th through the 18th, slide through to the Javits Center, Fanatics Fest NYC. fanaticsfest.com is the website. Fanatics Fest is the handle. I manage our social, so holla at us. We're going to have a fun time.
All right, that's Arden, man. That sounds so fun. I love what you do. Thank you so much for popping on. Could talk hoops all day, and you're fitted while doing it, guys. That's Arden. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for hopping on. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
See you soon.
See you soon.
All right, everybody. This is Locked On Women's Basketball, guys. We can't do this without our sponsors. One last sponsor to plug. I'm so happy you guys joined us. Summer is here, and we're ready to look and feel confident. Our last sponsor is Apostrophe. I know there's times where I wake up and I'm like, what is going on? I'm not feeling that good. Fake it till you make it sometimes. Sometimes, like even today, wake up a little bedhead. It happens. One of the biggest things that can kick off a lack of self-confidence is your skin. Acne, breakouts, rosacea, wrinkles, these all take a toll on your confidence level. And that's why we are excited to partner with Apostrophe, the sponsor of this episode. Apostrophe's goal to help you feel confident in your own skin. Whether you're dealing with breakouts, signs of aging, or acne scarring, Apostrophe will help you love the skin you're in. Apostrophe is an online program that connects you with an expert dermatology team to get customized acne treatment for your unique skin. Through Apostrophe, you can get access to oral and topical medications that use clinically proven ingredients to help clear acne. Simply fill out an online consultation about your skin goals and medical history, then snap a few selfies, and dermatology provider will create a custom treatment plan just for you. Apostrophe offers access to prescription treatments for all types of acne, from hormonal acne to facial acne, and even chest and butt acne. Treat breakouts from head to toe. So my skincare goals are to keep it fresh throughout summer. I know I'm out in the sun a lot. So Apostrophe is the place to go for that. We have a special deal for our audience. Get your first visit for only $5 at apostrophe.com/lockedon when you use your code LOCKEDON. That's a savings of $15. This code is only available to our listeners. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/lockedon and click Get Started, then use our code LOCKEDON at sign up and you'll get your first visit for only $5. Thank you, Apostrophe, for sponsoring the episode. And guys, thank you for making Locked On Women's Basketball your first listen of the day. For your second listen of the day, enjoy Locked On NBA podcast. There is no offseason in the NBA, and Locked On NBA provides daily basketball analysis from national and local experts in 30 minutes or less. No one keeps you as informed and entertained as Locked On NBA, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.